What's up, y'all? Hit that like button, subscribe. Welcome to another episode of Focus Daily TV. Support this channel. Hashtag Focus Daily TV. Let's go. Today we're gonna start with Leviticus 19:9. We're gonna get straight to it, and then we'll do a little commentary on it, as usual. Leviticus 19:9. When you reap the harvest of your land, do not reap to the very edges of your field, or gather the gleanings of your harvest. Do not go over your vineyard a second time, or pick up the grapes that have fallen. Leave them for the poor and the foreigner. I am the Lord your God. So, what this is really referring to is the greed culture that has grabbing a hold of us as a people, the Afro Americans. Here at the Focus Daily Show, we speak about the Afro Americans and their connection to the biblical word, the laws of God. We're going over the laws in this series. Let's talk about the laws of God. But if you're noticing, I'm presenting the evidence to show how they have ideologically subverted us against these very laws that I speak of. Through things like media, hip hop, gangster movies, the violent drug culture. Greed has become a phenomenon that has totally subverted us as a people. We no longer love our brother and care for our brother as the laws of God commands us to. We stab our brother in the back. We have this money over everything attitude. And it is because of this, the invaders that invaded this land, whether it be France, the Dutch, Europe, Spain, amongst many other, all nations conspired against us, as Psalms 83 says. But they used this ideological subversion to drop us to lower states, to a beast state, where at this point we no longer think about the poor or the foreigner. We think about self. No, is everybody purely full of greed? No, but it has taken a vast grip on us as a people, a community, and as a culture. Let's see if we can watch this little film about basically hoarding, another form of greed. They hoard to create a condition where greed is fertilized, cultured, cultivated. Well, greed is promoted as a way up out of the debt slavery that we currently find ourselves in. All right, let's go.
There's blood on the hands of the Packers and leaders in Washington, and no one seems to care. I know we live in a country where capitalism reigns supreme, and it's every man for himself, but Packers take capitalism to a whole new level.
They've been called the worst company in the world. They once had an intelligence operation bigger than the CIA, and they have near complete control over how and what you eat. Cargill Incorporated is the biggest privately owned company in America by a huge margin. They bring in more money than the third, fourth, and
Yes, Cargill. Cargill, you're on the hook. Straight through the nose. You know what I'm talking about?
fifth largest companies combined. Pretty much any food you buy, they make a little bit of money off of. This is a result of over a century of
See, what I'm presenting is how it happened, also why it happened, and who it happened to. Although this is a melting pot, a culture of many nations, it is these leaders and these corporations, such as Cargill, that influence this culture of greed, influences this culture of every man for itself. Let's go.
of consolidation, absorbing, buying up, and merging with other companies to try to control a chunk of
Let's start this
I
over.
know we live in a country where capitalism reigns supreme, and it's every man for himself, but Packers take capitalism to a whole new level.
They've been called the worst company in the world. They once had an intelligence operation bigger than the CIA, and they have near complete control over how and what you eat. Cargill Incorporated is the biggest privately owned company in America by a huge margin. They bring in more money than the third, fourth.
Let's look at this again. When you reap the harvest of your land, do not reap to the very edges of your field or gather the gleanings of your harvest. Do not go over the vineyard a second time or pick grapes that have fallen. Leave them for the poor and the foreigner. I am the Lord, your God. Okay, people, pay attention.
And fifth largest companies combined. Pretty much any food you buy, they make a little bit of money off of. This is a result of over a century of consolidation, absorbing, buying up, and merging with other companies to try to control a chunk of every aspect of the food economy.
Cargill's Allburger brand salts.
Plant proteins.
I spoke of Psalms 83. Y'all should go check that out later. But all nations conspired against us. And this great conspiracy happened right before our eyes. And all of this occurred just a few grandmothers ago. What we are seeing is how they took control of our harvests, which rightfully belong to the children of God. And they made us into criminals with the 13th Amendment and resurrected themselves into our position with the 14th Amendment. Now they're in control of our harvest and hoarding it and issuing it to us as we see fit. When originally the deal was that all tithes or proceeds, the majority should be returned back to the natives of this land. Let's go.
Asphalt,
which is the African Americans. You know, reparations are due and we shall receive reparations. But first, this truth must be made known. Because once again, it is this truth that shall make us free. Hit the like button, subscribe, support the channel. Hashtag Focus Daily TV. Let's go.
Rejuvenator.
Super Chicken đã được áp dụng trên một số khách hàng.
Partially hydrogenated product.
A very, very special treat.
Their power and breadth have kept wages down, squashed worker power, and pushed family farms to the brink of non-existence, while manipulating prices for the consumer. That's you.
And those family farms are the land that we once owned, especially in the South. The South had great, powerful Afro-American communities in the early 1900s. It haven't even been that long. Once again, all of this occurred just a couple of grandmothers ago. But through ideological subversion, and the Department of War, through their secret societies, such as the Knights of the Golden Circles, go back and check that video out, they've gained control and teaching us to be other than the children of God who follow his command, his laws, his order, and his wisdom. And through the leadership of his son, King Christ, and the Holy Spirit, all shall be, reparations shall be received. But first we must receive redemption and salvation. First we must open up the book, the Bible, read, refamiliarize ourselves with the word and the laws of God, and all will be set right.
That ubiquity is about to get even worse. Cargill has plans to absorb a chicken empire. It's all made one family very, very rich. The Cargill Macmillans own 88% of the company. 14 of them are billionaires. The family is worth a total of $40 billion. How does so much wealth get concentrated into so few hands? To answer that, we have to go back 127 years to the beginnings of
greed. That's how. Now here we go. Let's pay attention.
Hands. To answer that, we have to go back 127 years to the beginnings of Cargill's history. This is The Classroom by More Perfect Union, and today we're going to look at how the Cargills got rich. Cargill began in 1865, right as the Civil War ended.
The late 1800s. Here we go.
Storage warehouse. As the then new railroad expanded along the American West, Cargill facilities followed. At the time, the Cargills didn't really own farms or actually produce anything. They just weaseled themselves into grain profits by controlling infrastructure and storage.
We could really end the show right now. If you understand that all of this is in code, the truth is within that code. It literally said they had, let me let it play again. That was good right there.
Didn't really own farms or actually produce anything. They just weaseled themselves into grain profits by controlling infrastructure and storage.
So there we have it. The foreigners came in and weaseled themselves into position. We're going to let it roll on.
Then, as one of the first clues the family treats real life like Game of Thrones,
one flesh, one heart, one soul, now and forever.
W. Cargill married off his daughter Edna to John H. McMillan, whose family owned even more grain warehouses. The companies merged. They became the Cargill McMillans, the family we know today. By the early 1900s, Cargill controlled so much different industry that if a grain farmer in the Midwest didn't do business with Cargill, they couldn't do business at all. World War I breaks out, and Cargill makes a profit. They started expanding out of the Midwest, building...
That's it. So here on the Focus Daily Show, we like to get straight to the point. We introduce the topic, then we drop it. But until next time, Focus Daily, y'all. Hit that like button, subscribe, support the channel, #Focus Daily TV. We out.